Hello everybody, welcome to Moldova, welcome to Cricova. Was my first time in Moldova in Chisinau, and I choose from internet where is close some wine farm, and I choose the Cricova because it was so close to the city. Only by bus I can go to this trip. And so
Зараз ми з нашою англійською групою йдемо на ось ці такі, як сказати, машинки. Я дуже рада, що я вибрала англійську групу, а ось ця група – це російська група, тут чекала. Так що, люди, вчіть англійську.
more information about Cricova you can find in internet, and now we take this shelter. It's around 100-120 kilometers underground, and we go inside.
Say my name outside. My name is Anastasia, and I'll be your tour guide for today. So for the first stop, we came on street diners. Maybe you have seen it. It was written on the wall. Now, street diners means that in the small barrels that we have here, we keep the wine with the same name. So we have wine diners here. We also pass street Cabernet. On street Cabernet, we have the wine Cabernet. On street Chardonnay, we have the wine Chardonnay, and so on. Because it's easier this way to understand where we are and what we have in the barrels. We only use the small ones, and I'm always saying this because the first thing the tourists see are the big ones in the back, and they're always wondering if they're empty or not. Your guesses? Empty. Yeah. They're empty right now, but they were used back in the days in the Soviet period when Moldova was producing a very, very big quantity of wine because they had to export it to the other Soviet countries, and they would gather with that big quantity because one of those barrels has a capacity of 80 tons. And you might think, what was the problem then? The problem was in the quality. The quantity, yes, very big, they would do it. The problem was in the quality because the quality is better in the small ones. The small ones have 200 to 300 liters. And also being so big, it was even hard for them to clean them and take care of them, so they just decided to leave them empty as a decoration, so they don't use them anymore. We only use the small ones, and all of the small ones are imported from other countries, mainly from Romania, Hungary, Italy, France, Canada, and the United States. Because they're made from a specific type of white oak which doesn't grow here in Moldova, so that's why we have to import them. We use them 5 years for the red wine aging, and after that we use the same ones for cognac, which is legally called divin here. We have a lot of cognac producers in the country. All of them have to call it divin. It's just a legal aspect. No one has the right to use the term cognac. For example, we also produce champagne, like in Champagne in France, but we have to use sparkling wine as the name of it. Even though we produce cognac, we're still more specialized in wine. So for you to understand, right now here inside the cellars, we keep approximately 12 million liters of wine. And we don't even use the whole space that we have. Do you know the underground surface? It's in square kilometers. Did you read before coming? Maybe? It's 120 square kilometers. This is the second biggest winery in the world. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Do you know what's the first one?
Yeah,
Yes.
we've been to the...
What's the name? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and someone else said it here as well. You? You said Mileștimici, or who said? Anyway, yeah, that's right. If no one knows where Mileștimici is, it's also here in Chisinau. It's on the other side of the city, so they're both here. The biggest wineries in the world are both here. So here at Cricova, from this 120, we only use 80 for keeping and producing the wine, everything that has to do with the wine. From the other 40, we still extract the stone, the limestone to be more specific. Everything that you see here is natural limestone. They have been extracting it from here since the 15th century because in the beginning it was a mine, like most of the wineries, because no one digs just for the wine. They needed the stone for constructions. It's still going for construction, so it had nothing to do with the wine, like ever. It was just a consequence that they formed the tunnels, the city got bigger and bigger in time, and then at some point when they noticed that they have enough place and perfect conditions, they started doing experiments here for producing the wine. And it was actually a very long way till we officially opened the Cricova.
Is it hope? Or maybe it is a way of living? Wine is one of the first creations of the humankind, the most noble and enigmatic drink ever known. One bottle of wine contains more philosophy than any other book in the world, said Louis Pasteur. While Cicero stated that wine is bottled poetry, the Christians sacralized the wine, comparing it to the blood of God. The ancient monks used to grow grapes using the wine in all religious rituals. For some people, it is the liquor of kings. For others, it is the drink of civilizations. Whilst for many, it is merely a symbol of friendship and hospitality. What is Cricova? Is it a simple cave? Is it an array of experience? Is it a high-tech promoter? Is it a history and culture archive? Is it a legend? Is it a life tradition of our people? There is a legend which says that once upon a time, when the wind was fighting against the rocks and the water was fighting the stones, while the sun was bathing at its ease in the ruddy purple grape berries, a monk lived on this land carefully painted by the hand of God. The monk used to make an extraordinary wine for the church ceremonies. It is a well-known fact that many coveted for centuries for this fairy tale realm. When enemies invaded, they prohibited the local people from cultivating the grapevine, threatening them with death. And only one monk withdrew in a separate sanctum carved in stone and continued to secretly make his marvelous wine. Unfortunately, the enemies found out about his reluctance, caught him and punished him. That iniquity made the locals keep good memories about him. People are still retelling about the echoes coming from the cliff, recalling the moans of the monk. It is not by chance that the place's name is Cricova. It originates from the Slavic Cric, which means outcry. And during the night, when silence falls and no visitors have come yet, a shadow can be seen and footsteps left on the dusty ground of the cave. Could it be the spirit of the monk who comes from time to time to enjoy the recognition of his descendants? Archaeologists have found a trace of a vine leaf on a 3rd century BC stone that was discovered in Naslavcha, a small village from the Republic of Moldova, which is situated in the southeastern Europe between the rivers Prut and Nistru. Starting with the 2nd millennium BC, the culture of vine and winemaking became the basic occupation of our ancestors, the Dacians. This occupation was carried on, being further developed by the Greek colonists and the Roman Empire. During the rule of Stefan cel Mare, the position of cupbearer was instituted. The cupbearer was responsible for the vineyards and the wineries.
After art presentation video, we was make degustation, sparkling wine, take rest, enjoy, and we go to the next way to the sea bottles farm.
Follow the entire collection. And please don't stay behind, so you don't get, we sell it, but we don't sell all of the bottles because they're divided in different categories. But so we have different statuses. We have Cricova wine, we have gifts, and we have private collections. We sell only our own wine, Cricova wine. This is its own gifts because they're gifts that someone gave to us, a country or a person. We put the one here because it's certain collection. So here. So it's 100.
Actually, after all excursion, for us was waiting degustation table with 3 types of wine, and actually it was very delicious taste.
You should always follow the order that's going higher by intensity, alcohol, and the temperature you should consume the wine. For example, white is the least intense. Everyone knows that, and red is the most intense, right? So if you would start, for example, from the red and then go back to the white, you won't feel the taste of the white properly, right? And for example, the alcohol is also going higher. That means you can never start from cognac if you still have wine after that. Because cognac is 40% alcohol, but if you follow the wine rule, then the white wines usually have 12, rosé 13, reds have 14. So it's slowly going higher, and the temperature as well. So that means the white and rosé, you should consume them in between 8 and 10 degrees. So when you are drinking white, rosé, and sparkling, you should always take them by the leg, because if you take them by the cup, they get warm, and they should not get warm. So for example, you know how right now they do different glass designs, so that means you cannot drink a sparkling white and rosé from a legless glass. It has to have a leg. But the red wine, yes, because the red wine should be consumed in between 20 to 23 degrees, so like room temperature. And it is actually recommended for you to take it by the cup because it gets the warmth of your own body. And I do not recommend keeping the red wine in the fridge. Do you love drinking cold red wine? No?
18 degrees.
18? Okay, but the cold one with ice from the fridge. Do you like drinking it like that? Okay, good, very good. That's actually pretty good because there are people that like it, but I just want to tell you that I don't recommend keeping the red wine in the fridge because firstly you should consume it warm. The other problem is if you keep it in the fridge and then you try to get it warm again by keeping the glass in your hands like this, the problem is losing the time and waiting. So if you keep it at room temperature, it's always ready to be opened. Now, I will present to you 3 of the wines. So these 3, the sparkling, the white and the rosé. And then I will let you for around 10 to 15 minutes and then I will give you the red wine, okay? You are going to start from the sparkling wine because the sparkling wine actually has one important rule. So if you are at home, you can choose. You can choose the sparkling wine to be the first, before the white, or the last, after the red. We can also start, we can also end, but we will start with closed. It's hard to open them up and it doesn't really smell fresh. You're going to see. It's a different white wine. 6 months for white wine in barrels, it's a lot because 6 months it's an average for red wines. And usually barrels are just for the red wines. Chardonnay is one of the few, very few white wines that are produced in barrels. Have you ever tried Chardonnay in barrels? If you don't like the smell, that's bad because this is how you get to know the wine. You first have to smell it. But I promise you the taste is better. If you want to, do you know what they usually mix the wine in the glass? That's not because they will taste better. This is not about the taste, this is about the smell. Because if you mix them, the aromas open up and you can feel the wine better, you can feel the aromas better. For example, if you smell it without mixing, you feel one thing. If you mix it and smell again, you feel another thing. If you smell it again in 10 minutes, you'll feel something else. So this is just how you get to know the wine in the beginning and then you should taste it. So you should taste it immediately. And then, when you're ready with the white wine, you're going to have the rosé. Rosé is called Rosé de Cricova, Merlot Cabernet Sauvignon. Merlot will use 75%, Cabernet Sauvignon 25%. Two interesting things about rosé. Firstly, it smells very sweet. If you can take a look, it smells very sweet. Smells like peaches, it smells like strawberries, because we don't add strawberries, raspberries, we don't add anything. All of these sweet aromas come from the fructose. Fructose is just the level of sugar in the grapes. So these are just impressions that we make when smelling, because you do not feel them when you drink it. And that also means that everybody feels it differently. So these are just impressions. Everybody feels differently. The second interesting thing about rosé is the fact that both Merlot Cabernet Sauvignon are black grapes. Do you know how they make rosé pink?
No.
Mixing together or
No.
different kind of grapes?
No, the people that make it at home, they mix it together. But here we produce the rosé only from black grapes. Because the black grapes on the inside have no color, just like the white grapes. So what makes a red wine red is the skin. Because it's kept in contact with the grapes, so after being pressed, so it gets that color, so it gets pigmented, right? So that means if they leave it till the end, they get the red wine. So that means if they want to make rosé, they have to keep it less. It gets pigmented till pink, and then they just have to separate the wine from the skin, because otherwise they make the red. And this is how they make rosé. They have to keep the skin in contact with the wine less. If they separate the wine from the skin immediately, they can produce white wine from black grapes. Actually, make everything from black grapes. White, rosé, red, and sparkling. Because the red grapes from inside.
The cost trip was about 650 lei plus 6 lei bus transportation from center of Chisinau, and this is including degustation. And in the map you can see from where you can buy Cricova wine in the world. So from first experience from Chisinau to visit this Cricova is good idea.